Welcome to Book Solid, the home service growth podcast. Helping service businesses capture more calls, respond faster to leads, and turn more opportunities into book jobs.
A homeowner calls a plumbing company at 10:17 on a Monday morning. Their water heater's making strange noises, and they want to understand their options. But they are walking into a meeting, so they say, "Can you call me back later?" The coordinator says, "Absolutely, we'll call you back." That sounds helpful, but by 4:30, nobody has called. The note is buried, the office is closing, and the homeowner is already speaking with another plumber. That was not a bad lead. It was a callback with no system.
Welcome to Booked Solid, the home service growth podcast. If you run a plumbing, HVAC, electrical, roofing, or other home service business, this podcast is for you. Most service companies think they need more marketing, but many are already losing real revenue from missed calls and slow follow-up. On this podcast, we talk about simple systems that help capture more calls, respond faster to leads, and turn more opportunities into booked jobs. I'm Jeff, and in each episode, I'll share practical strategies you can use to grow without adding more complexity or hiring more office staff. Let's get into it.
Here's the idea for today. Stop treating "call me back later" like a loose reminder. Treat it like a small appointment. Give the customer a time. Give the callback an owner. Give the conversation a purpose. That is what I mean by a callback window. It is a specific, reliable path from an interested customer to the next conversation, and ideally to a booked job. This does not require a large call center or complicated software. It can begin with one shared list, a few required details, and a team agreement that every promised callback has a due time and a person responsible for it. Go back to that water heater call for a moment. The homeowner did not reject the company. They did not say, "I'm just shopping and never plan to schedule." They said the timing was bad. That distinction matters. They had a problem. They had enough interest to call. They probably needed a little more information, or they needed to speak with someone else before making a decision. The company had already earned a chance to continue the conversation. But "we'll call you back" left everything floating. No agreed time, no clear owner, no note about what the homeowner needed to decide, and no plan if the first call was missed. When the day became busy, the callback became invisible. That is the difference between a promise and a process. "We'll call you back" is a promise. A callback window is a system. A promise depends on memory and good intentions. A system makes the next action visible. For every callback, your team should be able to answer 3 simple questions. What is this about? When is it happening? And who owns it? A weak note says, "Call Sarah sometime today." A useful note says, "Sarah wants to review water heater replacement options with her husband. Call between 4 and 4:30. The goal is to answer questions and schedule the next available appointment." That second note gives the next person context. They do not have to start the conversation from scratch. So what should your team capture before the first conversation ends? First, capture the reason for the callback. Is the customer comparing repair and replacement? Do they need to check whether someone can be home? Are they waiting to talk with a spouse or a property manager? Or did they simply get pulled into another commitment? The reason tells the next person how to continue. If the customer needs to speak with a spouse, be ready for questions both people may have. If they are waiting for a price range, make sure the right information is available. If they are driving, keep the confirmation brief. Then confirm the best number and preferred contact method. Do not assume the number shown on caller ID is the number they want to use. One quick confirmation can prevent an avoidable missed connection. Next, offer 2 callback windows. Do not ask an open-ended question like, "When should we call you?" That often produces answers such as "anytime after lunch," which sounds flexible but is not very useful. Your team may hear one thing while the customer expects another. Instead, say, "I can have someone call you today between 4 and 4:30 or tomorrow morning between 8 and 8:30. Which works better?" 2 choices make the decision easy. The customer gets control, and your team avoids making an unlimited promise. Only offer windows you can actually cover.
A callback in 10 minutes sounds impressive, but a reliable call later is better than a fast promise your team misses. This is where a small callback buffer helps. Maybe your office protects 30 minutes in the late morning and another 30 minutes in the late afternoon. Maybe one team member owns the list during those periods. The exact schedule will vary by business. The principle does not. Protect the time you promise. And write down the intended outcome. Callback is an activity. Answer questions and schedule the estimate is a next action. Confirm access and book the service visit is a next action. That small change gives go. Your team is not just completing a reminder. They are moving the customer toward a decision. Here's the wording your team can practice. Of course, I understand you need to step away. I can have our office call you today between 4 and 4:30 or tomorrow between 8 and 8:30. Which window is better? After the customer chooses, say, "Great, I have you down for a call today between 4 and 4:30. Can I confirm the best number to use and what you would like us to cover?" Then repeat the request in plain language. Got it. You want to review the water heater options and understand the next available appointment. That repetition is not filler. It reassures the customer that you heard them, and it gives the next team member a useful starting point. Before ending the call, set one clear expectation for a missed connection. If we miss each other, we'll make one more attempt and send you a message with another callback option. Now the customer knows what will happen next, and your team knows what to do if the call is not answered. You can also send a short confirmation, something like, "Thanks for speaking with us. We'll call today between 4 and 4:30 to discuss your water heater questions. If that window no longer works, reply with a better time." Keep it short. This is not a sales pitch. It is simply a reminder of the commitment you made. Now imagine the corrected version of that Monday plumbing call. The homeowner chooses the afternoon window, the coordinator records the reason, confirms the number, and assigns the callback to one person. At 4 o'clock, that person calls. The homeowner does not answer. That is not a failure yet. It is simply the next step in the process. The team makes the second attempt and sends a short message. "Hi, this is Alex from Lakeside Plumbing. I tried to reach you about your water heater questions. I can call today between 5 and 5:30 or tomorrow between 9 and 9:30. Reply with the better option, and we'll be glad to help." The customer now has an easy way back into the conversation. No pressure, no confusion, no silent disappearance. If there is still no response, close the loop respectfully. You might say, "We'll close this request for now, but if you still need help, reply here or call us anytime." That gives your team a stopping point and gives the customer a simple way to return when the timing is right. For ownership, keep the records simple. You need the customer's name, confirmed phone number, reason for the callback, promised window, assigned owner, and next action. Add a basic status such as pending, attempted, booked, rescheduled, or closed. Use whatever tool your team will actually keep current, a shared spreadsheet, a call management tool, or the customer system you already have. One visible list is better than several private notebooks. Here's the habit I would install first. Look at the list when the day opens and look at it again before the office closes. In the morning, confirm every callback due that day and make sure each one has an owner. Before closing, review anything still marked pending. Was the customer reached? Was the appointment booked? Does the time need to be moved? Does someone need to make the second attempt? A callback should not quietly roll into tomorrow without a decision. After a few weeks, check the basics. Which windows are being completed? Which ones are missed? How many callbacks become booked jobs? If a window is regularly missed, stop offering it. If customers often prefer text confirmation, make that part of the normal process. You are not building a complicated report. You are finding the places where interested customers are getting stuck. The same approach works across the trades. An HVAC customer may need to confirm whether a spouse can be home. An electrician's customer may need to review the scope of a panel upgrade. A roofing customer may want to discuss an estimate with another decision maker. The details change, but the next step is the same. Capture the reason, offer a reliable time, and assign ownership. And if your current process is a stack of sticky notes, you are not alone. You do not have to buy a perfect tool before improving the process. Agree on what every callback record must contain and where that record lives. Then use it consistently. One shared list beats 3 private notebooks. One clear owner beats the office. One realistic window beats an impressive promise the team cannot keep.
If you want to start today, make it a 15-minute team exercise. Choose the callback windows you can reliably cover. Decide who owns each window. Write down the required fields. Agree on the second attempt rule. Then practice the sentence out loud. I can offer you today between 4 and 4:30, or tomorrow between 8 and 8:30. Which works better? That sentence turns an uncertain promise into a scheduled next step. Start conservatively. Offer fewer windows if that is what your team can protect. Leave room for interruptions. A customer does not need a complicated sequence of updates. They need to know what happens next, and they need your company to do what it said it would do. Thanks for listening to Booked Solid, the Home Service Growth Podcast. If you found this episode helpful, subscribe so you do not miss future episodes where we break down simple systems that help home service companies capture more calls, respond faster, and book more jobs. And if you know another contractor who could benefit from this information, share the show with them. Until next time, keep building systems that turn more calls into booked jobs.